Hello, good morning. Um, I know that I already come on here before and tried this story out, but for some reason it did not work out very well. So I'm doing it again. All right, so today's story is going to be called A Bird's Eye View, right? And it's one of the original stories that I have made, and it was about the same time. I finished this the same time as I did for Pets, which was last year. And there's the only three stories that I was able to officially have been found in my computer. So sadly, I don't have any of my other stories. But hopefully, this is one of the ones that take the cake. um, excuse me one second. I'm sorry. Okay. So many people have I come on here doing Storytime with Izzii, but I started off doing Storytime with Izzii with Edgar Allan Poe. And Edgar Allan Poe is, you know, the main man of life because he's just all the time just awesome, and I love it. But excuse me. But for the past couple of stories that I've been posting up on here or anything like that, reading was about just like my original stories that I've made. Uh-oh, we have a guest. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Hakeem.
Hey
um,
there.
how are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you. Just explaining the
All
whole
right.
story thingies.
Oh yeah, this is about the third story, the one that you read to me yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
and I
really
had
great story.
confirmation. I had confirmation from Mr. Hakeem last night that the story came out better than I expected. So thank you for that.
Hold on though. I mean, that's subjective. I really like the story. Who knows if anybody else will? You just gotta you just be confident. Don't you like your own story? I like it.
There you go. Somebody was calling in the middle of my talks.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good story because it is. I mean, you've got the descriptive writing down really well. So
Thank you, thank
I'm a
you.
fan of the writing. So what? Anyway, I don't want to interrupt the rest of your introduction, but I mean, what you got here, the a bird's eye view. All right. So before that, there was one called dinner time. What's that?
Pets. There's one called Pets and one called Dinner Time Food Crimes.
Yes, dinner time food crimes. I like that name a lot. Pets is really good, and this is a bird's eye view. So a bird's eye view.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Basically, the whole story is from a bird's view instead of a human's view. But it's kind of like
How long ago did you? How long ago did you write this one?
this one I wrote about the same time that I wrote Pets, so last year.
Okay.
And I found it like a couple of nights ago when I found Pets, and it's a story that I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was just thinking about birds.
So when you say you found it, meaning what? What do you mean you found it?
Like I found it in my documents in my computer,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
so it was just sitting there, and I had to take it. Oh, it was one of the out of the three stories.
Yeah.
Sorry. Out of the three stories, it was kind of like, that was part, it was one of the first ones. The dinner time food crime was the recent one. It was a recent one that I did,
Hmm.
so it wasn't so bad. But
Uh, um, so, and now you have those three, but are you, I think I asked you this before, but now are you encouraged or do you have any plans? Are you going to be writing some more soon?
I am. I'm in the process of a couple of poems and a story, another story.
Mm.
So, they're not finished though, so I just have to fix up the poems and then I have to finish the story itself. But it's pretty interesting how it's going though. I think it's pretty funny.
Hmm. All
They're
right.
pretty excited. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
But
Story
I'm
time with
hoping,
Izzy.
yeah, yeah, that's me.
Right. Well, let me give you a little. Let's put some bread for you.
All right,
All
let's
right.
put some bread down,
Here we
lettuce
go.
and tomatoes, bacon.
You're listening to Story Time with Izzy, presented by Sarah Del Valle. I'm Hakeem Ali Bokis Alexander, co-host, and today, Izzy, what are you going to be reading?
I am reading an original story called A Bird's Eye View.
Is it a short story or a long story?
It's about the same as the other ones. It's kind of short, not too
Short
long.
stories, right? And
Yeah.
what year was this written?
This was written in 2021.
2021, so they're pretty fresh. All right.
Yeah, it's very fresh.
Let's hear it. Are you ready to read a bird's eye view?
Yes, sir. You guys ready to listen?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Has anyone seen the colonel? Says the right-hand man. Everyone looks around and nods their heads no, wondering who they were waiting on in the first place before. No one has ever actually met the colonel, except for, of course, the one asking all the questions and ordering others to do certain things in their group. Here he is now, says the right-hand man. The colonel came flying in and just landed upon their crew, saying, "Sorry for being late. Is there still enough time to go get to the other side? I don't expect that we're expecting any bad weather on the way. Of course, let's not forget to watch for the planes because those things are inevitable. I've already lost too many men trying to miss it. The propellers stopped them from getting anywhere. I see that you all have met my right-hand man here, Mr. Dubs. Everyone squared away, Mr. Dubs?" Mr. Dubs replies, "Not just yet, sir. We have a small problem. We were all waiting here we were all here waiting on you to leave, but since you arrived fairly late, we have to wait until the big storm passes by in about an hour. It was only supposed to take us about 3 hours to get to the new homeland until next season. We're going to be almost 2 hours behind if we went now. Our stop time will now be 3 hours from now. If we wait about 2 hours, we will have enough time to find a shortcut to make it there earlier than 3 hours. But I'll just keep looking." The storm was beginning, and not one single bird was able to understand exactly how they were supposed to be going all around the storms and plains. One way or another, one of the birds was going to get their little light bulb going on. No one knows about the whole thing, making everything more difficult than it already is. Colonel Paul Bird says to his crew, "What is the matter with you men? Don't you remember that this is what you signed up for in the very beginning and got training for? Stop being chicks and start acting like cats that come to try and destroy us from this world. We're not just birds. We are men that will try to achieve our goals on this journey to the other side of this place. We need to survive for the ones that we came to survive and conquer our storms in life for in the first place. Now, are we chickies or are we cats?" Everyone raised their arms in triumph and yelled out, "We are cats!" They picked their heads up high, assumed the flight positions, and ran off to their new adventure to make it right for the family and themselves. The bird yells out, "Let's fly out, men!" As the men and all of them set flight out into the soon-to-be dark sky, they come to a halt in their travels. Do you all see what's going on out there in the clouds? Robert asks his crew. Everyone is shocked at the sight of all the lights coming out from the clouds straight ahead from their view. No one is prepared to get through those clouds with wanting to make sure or know if they are going to make it out of there alive or not. They kept going forward and they kept chanting out loud, "We are cats! We are cats! We are cats!" Not too much longer after, Mr. Doves calls out all names to make sure that everyone is present and they didn't lose anyone because of fear. What kind of person is that? A coward. If they purposely signed up for that kind of adventure, they should have paid attention in class or basic training for bird population. It's beginning to get dark out, and all the nighttime sounds start to get louder and louder as they keep flying off into the strange clouds. Half of the crew were not sure how they're going to make it when the lights keep getting stronger by the minute. The look on their face tells it all. You can't always tell with the birds when you were looking at them. They could be smiling or they could be upset and frowning. We don't know. The only people I believe would know are the boys that are bird watchers. So, all bird watchers, how exactly do you tell what emotion they are at the time? Is it the actions that they make? Do they ignore you when they're upset? Do they eat their food happily when they're happy? What is it that makes them so unique? Side note, of course. Colonel Robert allows them to have a break since they are nowhere close to those clouds yet. Mr. Dubs goes ahead and takes another checklist to make sure that everyone is still there. Luckily for Robert and Dubs, everyone is still trucking along with them. They've been through this type of challenge before where they had to go through the whole journey alone. They notice one bird that is having a hard time wanting to complete the task. The colonel goes up to him and tells him, "What are you, a cat or a chickie? You can't be both. You're either off this team and to have your own team, or you're part of this team ready to conquer what not many were able to conquer before. It's your choice. So you have to make a big decision on what you want to do or what you want to be in your life." Excuse me. Everyone is taking their small water break and snack breaks while waiting, only to make sure that they are full and awakened to go to their next stop. Once they make it there, their families can finally join them. Maybe they will be able to find an easier way or easier time to make it to where they need to be to lead. I'm sorry. Easier way or easier time to make it to where they need to lead their families to. They finally get ready to go off through the cloudy storm and finish their way through the other side. What does it mean to get where they're going? Well, since it's going to be freezing cold where they're staying now, they can finally find somewhere new to be warm until they're ready to go back to their main homes. Mr. Dubs looks around and lets them know that it's going to be a rough one, but it'll be easy enough. Robert yells to everyone, "Just follow our leads and you'll be okay. Don't worry. As long as you stick with us, your lives will be just fine and you'll be with your family still." Everyone felt better after getting the confirmation that they wanted to know. Not everyone has the thought process as these majestical and precious birds do. New moment in this adventure happens. Everyone is in sync and in tune with their leaders, and they're making it happen all the way through. What are they exact? Where are they exactly? Are they close to the clouds? Are they figuring out a different route to their success? They're making something big happen for them. Great teamwork. Alas, they faced a cloudy storm, which happens to be a thundering storm. It began to start raining, going through the lightning.
Yo.
What?
Uh, sorry, cut you off for a second. I didn't hear something. My bad.
Sorry. Sorry. Um. Uh. Forgot where it was. Oh. It began to start raining, going through the lightning strikes, and they got too wet to continue on with their mission. They were close enough to their stop, but as always, there's that one bird that can't make it the same time as others. The bird starts slowing down, and that made everyone else upset for having to constantly wait on that one bird. What no one realizes, that one bird saved them from going or being slower than them. You may not be the number one on speed, but let me tell you one thing. You saved us from being electrocuted or getting hit with one of the strikes that were going on. You have no idea how much we are appreciative to you for that. You kept us alive, and I promise you that will never be unnoticed. Just be patient with me, and I'll always be patient with you, spoke Colonel Robert. Do you ever feel that way? I surely do. Anytime I have to make it work somehow for my management in life or my family. We need to appreciate that no matter how slow another person may be, physically or mentally, patience is key for all, and it will always be returned better than you or they have ever expected. Everyone looked shocked, yet realized that the colonel was right. It put into their brains that they have to slow down alongside each other. It threw anything without the slow-paced bird. The colonel, the bird says to the colonel, "Quick question, sir. How much longer until they get?" The bird replies, "It's literally the tall tree over there past the bridge. After that, we are set for until winter. We're going to be all right, gentle birds. You are an amazing crew, and that I'm very happy to have far. Thank you for sticking around with us. You're the first team that I can say made me feel like we are a family of brothers. All the birds have made it through all their stops, made it through ups and downs, made it through one of the biggest storm clouds they have ever witnessed, and landed in their temporary homes safely. They landed in their new tree nests and called out to their families, letting them know that they are good to start going. All the families met in the middle, no storms brewing to and from after that last one. They were the happiest flock to be around in the sky. Well, that's how they felt, at least. Enjoy your days, bird."
Oh, nice. All right, so that was that was bird's eye a bird's eye view. A bird's eye view. I was thinking I like it, and it pointed out to me that it seemed like one of the stories I used to read to the English language students in in China, and also that it has that
Really?
like a kid story feel, like a little. It's not like teaching any particular a lesson, but it has that feeling. It was a family friendly story.
Yes. It's like a army but of birds.
That's right. Yeah.
They're
But
they're
yes, it's a cool
fucking
perspective, right?
blue.
Just having you can't basically anthropomorphize the birds, kind of give them personalities and inside look that we don't see.
Yeah. I think I was just thinking about birds that time when I read that when I made this story. Cuz I saw cuz in my in the old house that we used to stay in, there was this bird that sat in the podium on top of the podium. He made a nest and they had the chickies up there or the little birdies up there. And then it was just like a whole little family and the birds were on the ground. The little birds were they fell onto the ground and they're just chilling there. And I'm just like, okay. So I kind of like thought of them whenever I made the story up, and it was just perfect.
Whatever happened to the little chicks that fell on the ground? Did they ever get back to the nest or go somewhere else?
I think they got back to the nest, but we left the house, and we sold the house, and we went back to the old house that we started off on. And now there's a bird that stays that's at the on in that sits at the porch or on the porch. I'm just like, are the birds following us? I don't get it. There's just birds literally sitting there at the podiums on top of the porch and everything like that. Or
Yeah, birds do whatever they want. Don't be paranoid. They ain't no bird gang following you. The bird gang.
ooh, that's a perfect story.
All right, well, that's the follow up to a bird's eye view.
Yes. Oh my
The
God, that's
bird's eye view.
perfect. That's perfect.
And then you got to set a bird gang, right? And then I don't know. I'm not going to throw too many ideas in your head because you got the creativity down all on your own without my input. But it would be fun to let's see, to do like bird gang, and then after bird gang, then maybe they meet. I don't know. The bird
Oh,
gang meets bird's eye view.
yes,
Bird
see, that's
bird
perfect.
bird gang versus bird's eye view, or yeah, that's good. And then maybe um, I have a little plot twist. I can tell you another time, but it's a cool plot twist. It's been used before, but it's a fun one. Especially if it works very well if you name it something like part three, where you name it, bird gang versus bird, like bird's eye view versus bird gang. And then, then you can do prequels. Then you can do like before Bird's Eye View, or like it'll be like Bird's Eye View Academy, right? That was recruiting them, and then you have Bird Gang Initiation. Those like the prequels. Have all those different kind of stories. Where you set it up like that, and you can have all these parts. You can be like the movies. You have a first one, and you have a part two, and then maybe do a three first. Yeah, well, they got the one, two, three, and then you have the prequels, and then maybe you do one more. But Bird's Eye View, and then Bird Gang. What do you think about that? So I think that making a uh, some more personification stories like that's pretty awesome. And let's see, this story is is pretty cool though. I mean, it could even be turned into a play. I think would be nice. I mean, it's really I really like how it's written. You know, the opening. Has anyone seen the Colonel? Says the right. I mean, that just the way that the story starts. I mean, that's it's just really great style of writing. It just gets your attention right away. It sets up a character, and it starts off dynamic with action. Matter of fact, I remember reading somewhere because I want to write books, and I wanted to be at least a good storyteller in the books, and attempting to find my voice. And in that, after having done lots and lots and lots and lots of freestyle writing, and after doing lots of self teaching and putting together my own writing style, I decided to look at some books about writing and specifically how to open up, stories and things like that. And then at the same time, I read a bunch of like classic science fiction that I usually didn't do. I read something called A Song of the Stars by Arthur C. Clarke. And then I read Beastmaster. I forget who the author is, and then a couple more. That, interestingly enough, I got from a cool little coffee shop called a Lucky Cup out here in Virginia Beach, and they have like a little free library where they have all, the books are just stacked inside of one of the seating areas, and you can just take them. You can take the books. You don't have to buy them or anything like that. You can have them, and you can bring them back if you want to, or you can keep them, and you can even come stop by Lucky Cup and you can donate the books on your own. So if anybody's in Virginia Beach and you have books you want to donate, you can take them to the Lucky Cup. Is the only one that I know of is on Holland and Rosemont, in a little Rosemont shopping center there. So that's one thing. And yeah, this story, A Bird's Eye View, I'm looking forward to seeing some developments from it and whatnot. I have a copy of it myself. Um, I mean, I just, again, I'm just looking at the story. It's just, no one has ever actually met the Colonel except for, of course, the one asking all the questions and ordering others to do certain things in their group. I mean, it's so conversational. It really flows super well. So anyway, I'm really excited to see the evolution of Izzii and her storytelling, and there should be a lot more to come. I know that I just got that email, so Miss Sarah Del Valle, I know she's still active. Are you having some difficulties with your? Show me a sign. Maybe you can send me a message in the back office, and I can help you with the room. Maybe I can put the bread on the end of this sandwich here, and then you can shut it down, or whatever works for you. I've only been here for about 25 minutes, so you let me know what's up. Uh, so, yep. Well, oh, I just got I just got her. her catalog. She sent me all her short story writing. So I got from vocal list from the poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Okay. Oh, vocabulary list. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so we're also doing, a lot of people don't know, and you're welcome. I have 25, well, let's see, how many do I have now? About 22 scholarships now for the literary expert and master literary expert certifications. Sarah Del Valle has received her level 1 Edgar Allan Poe literary expert certification from World Reading Club, sponsored by Uniquilibrium. And so there are several ways that you can go with this as well. So, for example, the level 1 certified literary expert requirements are simple. Any 3 works, you choose any 3 works from Edgar Allan Poe, and you read them, you successfully read them to an audience. And that audience could be a potential future audience that you record for and make your recording available to the public. Because as a literary expert, you have to demonstrate your proficiency with words, so that's the reading, the understanding, and just the study. It's basically giving you a route and showing you a method for which you can study and learn and document systematically your understanding and expertise in different literary uh, works from various authors. So far, we have the Edgar Allan Poe Literary Expert Certification. There's also the Maya Angelou Literary Expert Certification and Langston Hughes Literary Expert Certification. In addition to that, we'll be adding Emily Dickinson, and there was Christopher Cavallo, a friend and business partner, also suggested some other authors that will be added. So again, the literary expert certification is available to anyone right now. I said I have about 22 scholarships left. And why would you want to even deal with what would be the point, you ask, about perhaps getting a literary expert certification with Uniquilibrium's World Reading Club? So if you wonder, there are several different things that you can use a certification for. So certifications are really just basically showing that you met a particular standard that was created and designated by a particular organization. In this case, World Reading Club has created specific requirements for different levels of the certifications. So as I just said, for the Edgar Allan Poe literary expert certificate, you would read 3 works of Edgar Allan Poe and make them available for public scrutiny. And I am the...
Did you say you're doing Emily Dickinson soon?
well, that one is going to be added. I mean, we have to also find, sources for the material and everything like that for our certifications. But yeah, we have Emily Dickinson, just because of Emily Dickinson was one of the authors I personally learned about at the same time as I was learning about Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, Frankenstein.
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't... Did Emily Dickinson do Frankenstein? See, I don't even know. I just remember that it was in the same vein. Like, she was like a horror or like dark kind of author. So I learned about her around the same time as we were doing Edgar Allan Poe readings and things like that.
She was my bitch. I loved her. Oh my god, I loved her Frankenstein story. I loved just her stories as well. Edgar Allan Poe and Emily Dickinson were my main peoples when I was like learning about Poe. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, they're great authors, and they got great stories. So, yeah, I was just explaining about the literary expert certificate. And yeah, the certificates I have digital certifications, and also I'll send all the certifications digitally, and there's a printer-friendly copy. I haven't sent you yours yet, Izzii, about the black and white, because I like to have a plain text copy certificate available for you to use. So one of the things I wanted to say, too, about the certification, and one of the things I wrote into the program was that, as a literary expert through World Reading Club, I'm going to read directly from my site. Okay, so as a literary expert through World Reading Club, certificate recipients may present this qualification as a professional credential to help obtain and secure various contracts or gigs as an expert presenter, keynote speaker, book club leader, workshop facilitator, and many other written and or spoken word-based endeavors. So having a certification from anywhere, as you know, when you meet the standards of a certain organization, one, what it does is it shows that you've met the certain requirements from a particular organization, in this case, the World Reading Club. So what it does is just show that you've met standards, that you've gone through a process, that you've done something systematically, and that it can be looked at and understood by other parties, by external parties. So someone can look at it and say, well, what did this person have to do in order to get this level 1 certificate? Oh, they had to get over a certain fear, or they have to be bold enough, or already have to be at a level where they feel comfortable reading three works from an author, either in a live setting or recorded, where other people will have access to it for it to be scrutinized. And so that's part of it, because one of the fears that most people always talk about is the fear of public speaking, or the fear of presenting in any kind, because it's the fear of being ridiculed or disrespected by your peers or by other people. So that's why most people don't do it. But this knocks out a lot of things in one movement, because World Reading Club is about promoting the love of literacy for the sake and for the point of celebrating the joy of learning. And so actually World Reading Club, we say World Reading Club celebrates the joy of learning by promoting the love of literacy. And so in this way, there are so many things that you can take advantage of by presenting a certificate, specifically also because my organization has been around for 16 years. So I have a history of almost 2 decades coming on now. And so I don't plan on going anywhere. And as time goes along and I gain more experience, I'm implementing more and more ways to make sure that the institution continues long after I'm done, because in fact, we're launching, and already has been, basically right now I operate as an online educational system that's composed of an interconnected network of websites, and also offline resources and personnel that I've been working with throughout the years. So I'll give some more information about the literary expert certification, but Sarah Del Valle here, she's primed for it. I mean, I was just telling her yesterday on the phone that I was like, yeah, you're on pro status. Most people say that they want to be writers, but they don't have. She has 3 short stories that are excellent. I mean, they're excellently presented, excellently written, in my opinion. But I'm a person who reads a lot, and I have a lot of documentation of that, as well as just my love of reading. But storytelling, of course, is subjective. There are people who, for example, don't like certain types of material. Sarah and I, for example, were in a room speaking with an author, and they write adult romance novels. And so some people might not be in that. It doesn't mean that the adult romance novels aren't good. I mean, for a matter of fact, I'd never read any adult romance novels before until I met a friend who named Ashley Needles, who wrote a book called Falling Moon, and a couple of others that I bought that she has on Amazon. And they were steamy, romance sex novels that I'd never read before, but they were really engaging, and I really thought they were great stories, and I was pleasantly surprised. And so I'm a fan. Like, I would actually read that now. I mean, I don't go to the bookstore and I don't look for that type of material, but I will read it if somebody, suggests that it's good, because I found out that it just wasn't what I thought it might be. There's just good storytelling all around, no matter what the genre. So again, stories and all that stuff are subjective, and of course, it doesn't hurt my my admiration of Sarah's stories that I actually like Sarah as a person. So, that also has to do with that. So, I'd like to also know some other opinions. I'm sure Sarah would too. She's put herself out here a lot, reading and just letting, especially reading when you read other people's works like Edgar Allan Poe. It's also challenging and difficult in the fact that there's a certain cadence and a certain rhythm that you read things in order for the reading to be understood by listeners. And so storytelling, especially from reading as a storytelling art, it's fascinating. It's a skill all on its own, and I'm really proud of my friend and my friend Sarah Del Valle and the work that she's done, and my friend and also certified Edgar Allan Poe literary expert. Right. I think and the designation I'm using are CLE, so certified literary expert, and MCLE, which would be the master. And I might be using other designators, like it could be L1 or just 1 for level 1. But I also want to make it concise. Just like the certificates, as a certified hypnotherapist, you could put CHT after your name. You could also just say master hypnotist. So there's different things like that you can put before and after your name as a clinical hypnotist certification. So we'll make some really good designations. Right now it's CLE. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I appreciate you taking the time and letting me continue to enjoy and
Oh no! What happened? What happened? Come back on. You gotta finish. Oh my god, what happened? I don't know what happened. It just kicked.
Bot
It just
rebooting.
kicked off. I don't know.
Bot rebooting. All right. So as I was saying, anyway, just I'm going to make it simple and make it look beautiful for people to be proud to have their certificates. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm proud of you, Izzii, Izzii, aka Sarah Del Valle. So
those certificates are worth it, I have to say. So don't hesitate. Just go ahead and go for it.
yeah, but the thing is, you could say that, but people don't know why, right? It's like you have to do. It's like you're actually doing something to earn it, right? It's like you're doing work, and maybe it might not be hard work digging trenches, but you've got to come to an understanding. And we really do spend a lot of time analyzing and going over the works of Edgar Allan Poe. And of course, we have all these different spaces all over the internet that you can come join us and do these workshops where there's multiple of us in a room in different parts of the world, and we can just go explore the works of Edgar Allan Poe. Safe spaces where you can read and be encouraged to do your reading. So it's just, it's the World Reading Club. You would be joining the World Reading Club as well when you get your certificate. So there's 22 of them left. Oh, actually, 21 now. Just got some messages. So 21 now of this world reading. I mean the certifications. So Chris is in the back channel sending me messages. Okay. I thought it was about something about this directly, but it's kind of indirect. But that's great. I'll just check in and see if that was something that I could talk about right now. But anyway, I don't want to keep talking on Storytime with Izzii, presented by Sarah Del Valle. I don't know. Sarah from the Valley, Sarah Del Valle. Anyway, that's it, Sarah. I just wanted to go over that while you were in mute land. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys, this whole certificate of reading, if you like to read, go for it. Really, just go for it, because it's really awesome, and it's real. It's not just it's all you gotta do is read and analyze and go through everything on here and just Do what you love to do, which is if you love to read, do it. It's worth every single waiting moment, waking moment, all of it, and it's fun. It's a fun thing to do, and it's easy.
We definitely do have a lot of fun reading
Yeah.
and learning, and we learn a lot of stuff and learn new words. And like I didn't know, words like eidolon and just certain words that we don't really use that much anymore, especially from Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, and I can't wait to dig in to Maya Angelou and Langston Hughes and start doing all that stuff. It's a whole lot of fun. Like, it really is great.
Yeah, so I've been doing Edgar Allan Poe for a while now, and so after Edgar Allan Poe is done, if I can keep on going, I want to do the Maya Angelou. Maya
Yeah.
Angelou.
And the thing about that too is like you can go vertical and just do one author. So for example, you can do 3 works of Edgar Allan Poe for the level 1, and if you do another 3 works from Edgar Allan Poe, you get a level 2. And if you do a third set of 3 works, you get a level 3 certificate, which then makes you eligible for the Master Literary Expert certificate, and with the specialty, your specialty being Edgar Allan Poe. And so once you do that, then you have different work to do, which is there's different vocabulary works, and then also essays explaining basically giving summaries or descriptions of what you understood for the stories. And remember, as a reader of these works, it's subjective. You don't really have that much of a wrong answer of what you thought about the stories. But of course, it has to be about the story, and you have to have read it, of course, and give an honest understanding, an idea of what you want. And that's how you do this work. And, the master certificate requires that you do it again for...
Uh-oh. It keeps going
Okay.
out. Your mic keeps
What,
going out.
this mic is going out?
Like it keeps on mute. Like it's like going and then stopping and then going and stopping.
Oh, well, I mean, this one is wired in, so I think it might just be because it's protecting the sound from the other sound, because there's a lot of noise out here in the background, so it might have a clip.
Okay.
Anyway, there's different levels you can go to the Edgar Allan Poe or just a general literary expert certificate, because the other one would be if you did, for example, 1 work of Edgar Allan Poe, 1 work of Maya Angelou, and 1 work of Langston Hughes, then you could just earn the designation of literary expert, certified literary expert level 1. And it wouldn't have any specialty like Edgar Allan Poe or whatever. It would just be literary expert certification. Same thing if you could do that anytime, and once you've gotten to 9 works, then you're eligible for the master, and then you'd be master literary expert, certified master literary expert. So
That's where I'm trying to get to.
I think you already might have the qualifications for it. I'm pretty sure you do. I'm pretty sure you've read 9 works of Edgar Allan Poe. So I just have to issue the level 2, level 3 certificate, and then we have to go. And I know you sent me that vocabulary list through the email just now, so thanks for that. And then we have to just go ahead and do that work and do some of the essays and descriptions, and we'll have a newly minted certified master literary expert, specifically a newly minted Edgar Allan Poe certified master literary expert. So
that makes me happy to hear.
So,
okay,
and I think as I'm thinking about it now, I think I'm just going to put. I think that when the designation, so there's not too many letters, it's going to be CLE, Certified Literary Expert level, and then you'll just have a 1, 2, and 3. And then for the master, it'll just be MLE, Master Literary Expert. So, anyway, just a little side note about that.
Okay.
So,
when you're talking about when you say about these essays, you need essays as well.
well, they're short descriptions. So essays, I know, is a very specific word, but it could be a couple sentences or a paragraph or however long you feel like you want to use to describe what you understand about each of the works. Or you just take a certain part and you analyze it. So you can analyze, or what I like to call focus. I do a lot of what I call reading focus. And I haven't really specified any examples of that just yet, but reading focus would be like you could just take a certain part of it and analyze it for yourself and break it apart, because maybe it was a difficult part for you to understand. And so what you're doing is you're just working out on paper in your mind or out loud, because you can even make an entire recording series about it, of you working out that stuff. I do prefer to have a lot of things in writing sometimes too, to have that documentation, but if you record your own discussion working out what you think about the different works, then that's also acceptable form of communication for earning the master literary expert certification. So
Okay. So now I know what I need to do. Okay. Cool.
yep. And yeah, we just got to keep working it.
I'm so excited. I know I can hide it.
It's good times, good stuff. I'm excited too.
Thank you, everybody on here that has been listening to.
That's right. You've been listening to Storytime with Izzii, presented by Sarah Del Valle. She was reading her own original short story called A Bird's Eye View, written in 2021. My name is Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, her co-host, moderator, and friend. We'll catch you guys on the next wave.
See you next time, you guys. Thank you. Now, before I can actually make any kind of podcast episode for you guys, I want to explain one thing. Have you guys heard about Anchor? It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain how. 1, it's free. 2, there's just many tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And it'll distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other things like iTunes and such. You can make more money from your podcast, regardless on how much you have already. So it's like extra money. Hello, who doesn't like free money? And then, it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one spot. So whenever you can, just download the free Anchor app at, your iTunes store, your Apple store, or your Google Play store, or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thanks, y'all.